Hello viewers, it is your favorite spoiler from the recap room. For more updates, stay tuned and don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you. The Gilded Age Season 3 Episode 7 Ending explained. Since John Adams was a much smaller character than George Russell and his death in Episode 6 was a major shock, it was shocking to see him shot in the face at the end of Episode 7. The fact that the industrialist situation was finally improving just makes the situation worse. In Season 3 of The Gilded Age, George Russell's company is in a quite vulnerable state. He is running out of investors and has been investing more money in his plans than he has. Larry Russell returned in Episode 7 to salvage the Russell corporate empire following his major failure with Richard Clay in Episode 6. George can finally carry out his plans after Larry's triumph in Morenci, but the secret conclusion clearly stops that. It's safe to assume that the aftermath will be shown in the finale since we only see the shooting and not Mr. Russell being wounded, but who wanted him dead might be a more important topic. Mr. McAllister's tell-all book forces him out of society. In The Gilded Age Season 3, Episode 7, following the publication of his book Society as I Have Found It, Ward McAllister discovered it the hard way. Although there is a good deal of fictional drama in The Gilded Age, this plot is actually taken from historical events. Members of high society expelled the real Ward McAllister when he released the book Society as I Have Found It in 1890. Naturally, they no longer trusted Mr. McAllister. Because of the significance of the social standards of the time and how rapidly they were evolving, McAllister decided to write this book and draw attention to the issues in the lives of the wealthy. However, Bertha Russell notes that her developing abilities are still insufficient to prevent him from being rejected. Why Marion refuses to take Larry back, despite evidence of his innocence. Marion Brooks' friendship with Larry Russell has made her the most annoying character in The Gilded Age. The couple's success in the first half of the season culminated with their engagement in Episode 5 of Season 3 of The Gilded Age. Marion is still adamant that they call it quits on their engagement. Marion became frightened and ended the engagement in a letter after hearing about Larry's night at the Haymarket. She now refuses to listen to his side of the story in Episode 7. She only appears to second-guess her choice when Jack Trotter assures her that Larry is innocent, giving her the impression that she might reconsider. Bertha Russell reaps the reward of her behavior. Bertha Russell has always been one of the most fascinating characters in The Gilded Age because of her ambition, but Season 3 is revealing that this quality is back to haunt her. She has been at war with her husband George since forcing her daughter to wed the Duke in Episode 4, and now Larry is also against her. Bertha Russell is primarily focused on achieving her goals, regardless of whether doing so hurts her family's feelings, as her relatives have correctly noted. Thus, it's not shocking that Larry believes she might have had a role in Marion's choice to call it quits on their engagement. Peggy Scott's history earns ire from Mrs. Kirkland. The Gilded Age has previously examined Peggy Scott's past, so although viewers aren't surprised by what Elizabeth Kirkland discovers in Season 3, Episode 7, it does put the character in a difficult position. It is painful to watch Peggy's baby used against her because it was a major source of trauma for her and contributed to her strained connection with her family in Season 1. Her reaction to hearing about Peggy's baby is hardly surprise, especially as William Kirkland's mother has opposed Peggy since they first met. Unfortunately, Mrs. Kirkland's colorism and her contempt for Peggy's father due to his history as a slave tell us everything we need to know about her, but at least her son makes more sense. How John Adams' death opens the door for Oscar's future. The Gilded Age added an unexpected and bizarre account about John Adams' death in Episode 6. The death demonstrated how erratic this season of the historical drama was willing to be, and the conclusion of Episode 7 reinforced that. Oscar Van Ryn is also given time to lament his lost love in this week's episode. Although viewers are not able to witness John Adams' funeral, we are able to observe Oscar's subsequent emotions. Given that John Adams was his former partner and the one who kept him afloat financially, it is understandable that this is a major setback for him. Their friendship provided Oscar someone with whom he could be himself, despite the fact that they were no longer together. Thanks for watching, stay tuned for more updates.